Hello guys, and welcome to a new Wargame Red Dragon video today by me, Vulcan. Yes, that's right. Back to Wargame in this one, which has been a very long time, but myself, Val and Holly just decided to jump on for some 3v3 action on Wargame Red Dragon, give it a try after playing so much Steel Division. So here we are, and you'll have to wait and see exactly how it goes. I'm going to switch it to my point of view. Today I am going to be playing a British Armoured division, so not the most versatile, but still has some pretty decent units, and those include like the Challenger 2 and the Eurofighter Typhoons. Honestly, I think the main thing that I've missed about the Wargame Red Dragon is mainly just like the war porn in terms of like Eurofighters, like cool modern equipment. Like it's really awesome, and just being able to play with it once again kind of was really refreshing, going back to Wargame Red Dragon. And I think a lot of people like still play Wargame Red Dragon quite a lot, so it's interesting. We found the game relatively quickly and we jumped straight in. I was not very confident in how well I would do, but well, you'll see as we go on into the game. Meanwhile, on the right side we are going to be seeing Val with his Israeli deck, and over on the left side I believe Holly was playing a Eurocorps, or maybe the Dutch-German division, or battle group, sorry. Now that's something that also is one thing that I'm probably going to do throughout this game a lot, is refer to battle groups as divisions. So there's that. But either way, there's a lot of like weird sort of changes between Wargame and Steel Division, and now I'm just so used to Steel Division, the Wargame almost seems alien. It's quite funny. But this is a good chance to show off Wargame Red Dragon once again. So here we are. You can see I'm jumping down the Challenger 2 there at the start. So I've got a Challenger Marksman, which is the Challenger hull with the AA on top. Then we've got the Stormer HVMs, which are the APCs with the Stormer system mounted on top, which is, or the HVM system, sorry, which is the like AA and AT sort of connectors, ATGMs as well as AA, although primarily should be used as AA because they do a lot more damage. Then I've got a Trap Rapier FSA, bit of radar, AA there, alongside a mortar. I've got some recon coming in Spartans, got the Puma there as well, and a Gazelle AH-1 for some helicopter recon. So we were just deciding where we were going to put our CVs. Ronnie was going to put his in at Bravo. I've got mine rolling all the way up to Delta. And I think Val was keeping his back at base. Yes, he was. So there's that. And we also have the command infantry and the helicopter here, moving over to Charlie. As you can see, very cool. Gotta absolutely love Wargame and the fact that you actually have helicopters. Yeah, there's no helicopters in World War II, and I do love some good helicopters every now and then. So damn cinematic. Either way, let's see what happens. Moving up the Gazelle AH-1 to get some recon down early. Also got the Puma there to sort of give me some preliminary recon on the ground as well after we unload the recon infantry. Then I've got the majority of my troops following up. Now normally what I would do is like highlight these and show you where they're going, but that was an addition that was added in Steel Division. And there's a lot of sort of quality of life changes like that that aren't present in Wargame Red Dragon, and I think if they made like a new Wargame, they would definitely need to include them, because there was just so many nice quality of life changes that were introduced in Steel Division. And yeah, there we see the green jacket dropped out there relatively quickly. Going to be seeing the Baz take on the MiG-29. They actually shot each other down. Both planes going down at the start. So relatively even trade. Challenger 2, Chieftain Mark 11, moving up together there. Val's pushing very hard on this right side, but he's actually bumping into a bunch of BTR-80s. Look at this. Oh my. Absolutely crazy. The BTR-80 push all the way through, unloading troops as they go. Absolutely crazy. Loads of Moskaya Pehota. We've got the Magak 7C Gimmels in there, but the majority of Val's troops are being destroyed. But I'm bringing in a Harrier GR5 with the 500 kilogram bombs. That's going to go straight on down into the Moskaya there. Managed to kill off quite a significant amount of the infantry at the start, but doesn't help the fact that Val has lost the majority of his starting forces. He has these the Messiahs and the Axarets with the Rov 890, but it's not really going to be enough against the Moskaya and the overwhelming amount of BTR 80s and ATAs that are harassing his troops. So I've sort of set up a bit more defensive in Delta. Normally the main contesting on this map comes between Delta and Foxtrot, or over Foxtrot mainly. Foxtrot's kind of like the middle of the map, and getting into this tree line is ideal, but I wasn't really confident on pushing that far. So what I decided to do instead was bring my Challenger 2 over to this right side so that I could use that to help clean up some of these APCs. Also, the Challenger 2 does a decent amount of damage against the infantry as well, so there's that. So as you can see, one-shots BTRs, and I've also got a Chieftain Mark 11 coming up to help us out as well as a Challenger Marksman, which can take care of any infantry that get a little bit too close. For example, these Moskaya Pehota, they're going to try and hit the Chieftain Mark 11 with a rocket, the RPG-7, but unsuccessful. And Harrier GR5 coming in again for another bombing strike. This is the same GR5. I was quite surprised how much I'd forgotten how quickly you can bring in airstrike after airstrike in this game. And another one coming in there just to help us clean out some more half-tracks, or APCs even. No half-tracks in this game really. There is a couple, but not many that you actually see used. So, Holly is being pushed upon by BMP-1's Mutschützen, Großmarinier, up in the hills there, so definitely Dutch-German. We've got an XA-185 KT pushing on my position, but not too much I can do about that, unfortunately. Got to rely on my Challenger 2 taking that out from a distance up here. My green jackets do go down, unfortunately. Moskaya trying to get another rocket into my Challenger Marksman, but Challenger Marksman, fantastic for deleting infantry. Going to use my APCs here to sort of bait out the Moskaya. We also see the Su-27 come in, and that actually hits one of my FV-432s instead of my Challenger Marksman, so that worked out quite nicely. But Moskaya slowly being cleaned up on the right side. And now I'm bringing in a Lynx AH-7 Tow 2. Challenger 2 takes out one of the XAs. This Lynx is going to go for the ATGM strikes onto the T-72 here in cover. There we go. Boom. Lynx AH-7 doing its job. And then sort of retreats behind cover briefly. Going to bring it up to take out the XA-185 as well. However, AA from the right side, going to be cleaning that up. So, we're not doing particularly well. We were suffering a +2 to the enemy for quite a while. +1 now to us. I think that was mainly due to them not capturing Gulf, actually. Yeah, we're still at a +1. But as soon as they capture Gulf, they are now at a +1. And they also have the Foxtrot area like almost completely under their control, because I basically diverted my forces to the right side to help with Val instead of pushing straight on into the middle, which I probably should have done just to sort of secure Foxtrot early on, because it would have allowed us to apply much more pressure onto the right instead. But Fusiliers being brought up here in the FV-432s, going to try and get those as far up into the town as possible. And I've got a couple of Chieftains helping out here. The Chieftains do have the 4HE and the 4HE available, so they do a little bit more damage than usual to the Moskaya, which is nice. So just using them as fire support as we move forward. The Fusiliers there. keep them pinned down as I unload the next lot of Fusiliers. Sturtruppen not doing particularly well here. They were taking a chunking from the Erikoisra Yakari, but the Marder 2 helping out from the left side. Eurofighter Typhoon, I do bring that in. Does get hit, I believe, by some infrared AA, however. So now we're just looking to, obviously, secure Echo. We need to get a command in here. And then what we can do is try and push on Foxtrot, maybe. But we're not in the best of positions, since Val definitely is requiring a lot of my support after losing a lot of his initial forces. I don't think he was quite expecting to be BTR-AT rushed at the start of the game. Not the most conventional start, that's for sure, but the chieftains here definitely providing the fire support needed onto those Moskaya. Harrier GR5 coming in with the bombing strike onto the Itos there. So going to be going for that. We managed to get a rather decent hit, and the GR5 even gets out alive. Now we have the Su-22M4 Seria coming in for the strike onto the Challenger. Challenger was only on 1 health after the engagement with the T-72, but we do manage to repay the favour with my track rapier FSA shooting down the Su-22. But yeah, unfortunately losing that Challenger there. Probably should have reversed it a lot sooner, but wasn't used to like the instant airstrikes that come in. With Steel Division, you actually have quite a lot of time to react to attacks like that, because things like Typhoon ATs take a little bit of time to get across the map. However, in Wargame, planes fly so much quicker, so an airstrike which involves an ATGM will hit you very, very quickly, and is quite scary sometimes. Either way, some infantry has got into this tree line in Delta, so I'm having to react to that by bringing in some Fusiliers, and I'm also withdrawing my AA so that it doesn't get hit by a rocket randomly. Also got a Chieftain Mark 11 moving up to the mid now as well, supported by a Challenger Marksman, which I'm moving back over from the right side. Just got reloaded by the Alvis Stalwart. Pansari Yakari there taking out my Alvis Stalwart that was meant to resupply the track rapier. Just kind of a bit micromanagement there, not allowing that to get into cover. But Challenger Marksman going to take out that Pansari Yakari. Chieftain Mark 5 has actually quite a nice position up on this hill. It's got a decent line of sight down onto the units that are coming across, and hopefully we'll be able to fire at them shortly. But we've definitely gone ahead and taken the town now. Made up for our initial shortfall on this right flank by taking the town entirely. T-72 makes short work of the Chieftain Mark 5, but is left on 1 health. Going to be seeing a rocket come in there and take out another Chieftain as well. Not ideal. There's some decent ATGMs in the tree line there. So yeah, not ideal. Don't have the best defense going on. I have the Milan 2s to stop sort of armor pushes, but with them having infantry in this tree line, it's a bit unfortunate. But either way, Eurofighter Typhoon comes in, gets 1 shot there onto an enemy aircraft. I'm not sure if it entirely got the kill, but does get shot down, unfortunately, by the double MiG combo. I do bring in a second Eurofighter. That goes down as well to the Nuers down here and the Tor. So not quite getting the kill onto the MiG, and also Val loses his plane as well. Actually crashes into my Sultan. Not quite killing it, thankfully, but there we go. So moving along with the Fusiliers now in this tree line. Just got to cover off this Sultan, stop the infantry getting too close. So plenty of reinforcements coming up there. And we're just trying to work out what we need to do. Ideally, throughout all of this, we wouldn't have been taking a +1 because we would have had like a command in Echo, so we would have already been, or still been, 130 points ahead at this point, 14 minutes into the game. But so far, we've just been losing out quite badly. But helicopters trying to push up there, getting taken down by the Challenger Marksman, enemy plane does get out alive as it delivers a bombing strike onto Holly's infantry. Also got the TO-55s pushing back Holly's infantry there with the napalm. So on the left, Holly being spread pretty thin as well. Some artillery coming in to the mid. Nothing too much to worry about. And looks like we are going to be pushing slightly on this right side. Myself and Val decided to make a little go of it with the amount of infantry we had in that town. There's no point in having it there if you're not going to use it, right? So decided to start moving forwards my Fusiliers a bit, starting to move up the Chieftain Mark 11, trying to help out with that, but that gets side shot by an HGM from the mid. And this is where holding Foxtrot is so useful on this map, just because it allows you to provide fire support to both sides, as for example you're pushing into Echo or you're pushing into Charlie in this case. So yeah, you can see these units down here easily able to fire up into the town where Holly's trying to defend with the Panzer Grenadiers. And these Panzer Grenadier 90s, they're decent for taking on the T-72s, but if they're just going to get constantly hammered by fire support, then it's not ideal. So we're not doing particularly well. Milan 2's able to fire at the XAs though, and both are going to miss. I tried to push some Fusiliers over here. Since they'd been pressing some infantry towards me, I decided to try and make a push across in reply, but I got plenty of fire support there, including the Sissy squad, which has the Dragunov. So they just took out my infantry very quickly there. I bring over a Sea Harrier to try and take out some of the radar AA. We are going to be seeing an Su-24M come in with a big old bombing strike, but I just dodged out the way of that with my Fusiliers. Baz is trying to go for the MiG-29M, and we do shoot that down with the help of my Trap Rapier FSA, but the plane on the left side is going to get shot down. This was, I believe, a Falcon of some kind. Yeah, F-16, get shot down. But unfortunately, Holly has lost the town. Just the combination of the bombing strikes, the napalm, the fire support from the mid and from his side, just demolishes infantry. And now the town is lost. It's going to be very hard to defend that left side entirely. He's got his command still there, and we have managed to level out the score by getting a command into Echo, but that Echo command is very, very late, unfortunately. I think we were just trying to focus on getting some ground, but if we'd had it in there earlier, we would have had a much better chance moving further on in the game. Fusiliers getting ready to push into India, at least, because they are focusing very hard on this left side. So GR5 coming in there, going to land a bomb onto these T-72s, going to help relieve a little bit of pressure on that side. Going to see the TOW-2 take out one of the units on the right side, but just a flood of units now coming into Charlie. And there's also the MiG-25 RBF coming in with the 8 500-kilogram bombs. Going to be dropping them straight on top of the Panzer Grenadiers and the command. Doesn't even get shot down, unfortunately. But here goes the Fusilier push, with some of Val's Rovate 90s pushing out of the town, just trying to make as much ground as we can. Since with us losing the command on the left side, our opponents are now at a +2. So Fusiliers 90s, along with the support of the FV432, should make short work of the Mujstrelki squads that aren't defending. Also, Fusilier 90s do have the Law 80, so they can do a lot of damage to APCs as well, so I'm not too worried. Big strike coming in though. We have what looks like a Buratino, I think that was. Yep, hitting the top side of the town. Fortunately, a lot of our troops had already left and pushed in towards India. And we are going to be seeing Val move up his Drakon here to try and take out the Mi-8 KT. Jaguar comes up with the HGMs. I'm not entirely sure what that was going for, but the MiG-29 going to make short work of it nonetheless. Area GR5 now coming up as well, just to get the bombing strike in. We're bringing that out wide, then bringing it in 90 degrees, Going to try and get the bombing strike onto the backside of India, try and take out the enemy command as quickly as possible. So just sort of letting that fly around, waiting to work out where I'm going to drop the bombs. Ideally, you shouldn't leave it in the sky like this, because it gave them plenty of time to react with this MiG-29, for example. The bombs are going to drop, and the Harrier GR5 is going to get out alive. We also shoot down the MiG-29 with the Drakon, so that worked out quite nicely. And that got rid of the Gornostrelkis here as well, which allows my Fusiliers to continue to push across in the back side of India. So, we're not doing great at the moment because obviously the left flank has collapsed. Ollie losing control of this town, just like I said before, it makes it really, really hard to push back. Same with like the India side, but we actually had our opponent overextend. So when we pushed back, there wasn't actually too much there because we cleaned up the majority of it in Echo. But if they play it smart in Charlie, they can just constantly contest that. And currently they have us at a +5. So Lavi coming in there with the 10 500 kilogram bombs is going to bomb out the town. Sea Harrier does take out one of the Nuas, but gets shot down as it flies over the town. Harrier GR5 gets smack bang in the face by a Nua as well and gets stunned. MiG-29 finishes the job. Tornado ECR comes in. Trying to get more shots off, but not doing too great at the moment. MiG-29 going to fly over my AA, and the Track Rapier FSAs do the job. So planes going down all over the place, that's for sure. I lost my 2 Eurofighters earlier, so I don't really have much to contest against the MiG-29s, but we're still making up for it with our AA. Now in the town we have the Motorstrelki versus Fusiliers here, but the K-29TB definitely turns that fight around with its minigun and rocket pods. More reinforcements are arriving. We did manage to just pick up the command in India, but still a +4 for our opponents. I'm going to have my supply go back to base now. Just to pick up some more. Moving my Alvis Stalwart over from this left side to give me some more missiles for the Trap Rapiers, but I'm actually just going to turn that around and send it back to Val Sherman's over here because they have run out of fuel. And that's quite a lot of points invested in there, so, well, 60 points. But still, you don't want units that could be useful just sat around doing nothing. So, I'm going to go help him refuel those so that we can continue the pressure into India. But at the moment, main problem really is on this left side. So, I'm going to bring up a Challenger 1 Mark 3 to Charlie. In the mids, things are still pretty light. I do have a Challenger 2 here. I've just been very cautious with this Challenger 2. Have been moving it backwards and forwards. Trouble is, there's just loads of HGMs here, and without the right recon, you can't really spot them very easily. And what I probably needed was like some snipers, the 2-man squads with the good stealth, because then I could sort of slowly move them up, spot the HGM squads and take them out with the Challenger 2. Because Challenger 2 only needs like 1 shot on target to kill a HGM squad, for example. But when you can't see them, you can't fire, right? I guess you could fire position them as well. But it's just a bit risky presenting your Challenger 2 in the first place, especially if they have HGM planes to use. So I'm bringing up that recon like I was saying, but these are green jackets, they're not like particularly great. Fusiliers are finally being cleaned up in India. Come up against some Yukari here, also got some more reinforcements coming in there with the XA. Managed to take out the XA with the Fusilier 90s before they go down, but just too many Yukari 90s to really make anything work on that side. And we're coming towards the end of the game now. Our first attempt back at Wargame since I started playing Steel Division, really. Haven't really been on the game at all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the look at Wargame once again. We had a lot of fun playing these games, and I mean, just the modern units is a really nice refreshing feel after playing so much of the World War II. I'm sure I'll be playing more Wargame Red Dragon every now and then, but I can't guarantee that I'll be doing so like very often. But there you have it. After 21 minutes and 55 seconds, myself, Holly and Val did lose out, and a total victory for our opponents, who I mean, a couple of them went negative. Somrak really doing the heavy lifting in that one with almost a 2-to-1 KD. I actually went positive on my team. Val, unfortunately, never really going to go positive after the start there. Those BTR 80s really catching him out. But Harry GR5 did a brilliant job in this game. Took out plenty of Moskaya. Challenger 2 picked off plenty of the BTR 80s after that initial push. Same with the Chieftain Mark 11 just coming in there and cleaning up. The Challenger Marksman took out plenty of infantry as well. There's a couple of, or at least one or two helicopters in there. Track Rapier FSA shooting down a couple of the airplanes. And then we had the Sea Harrier come in, take out a Tor and a Nuwa. But they just had so many of those anti-air pieces. The radar anti-air, we couldn't really do too much with our air force after we lost our seed missiles. But yeah, that's about it. Unfortunately, both Eurofighter Typhoons going down to some AA there. Those ITO 90s are just incredible. And that's your lot. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys appreciate going back to Wargame Red Dragon. Not going to be too often that this happens, but going to be mixing it in there every now and then. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.